You know, as part of my job, I talk to a lot of men. A lot of dumb men.
We treat women with respect here.
Yes, we do.
That's an American ideal.
Yeah.
Tell me about your shirt. Well, what's it say?
It says, Hillary sucks. But not like Monica.
Read the transcript right.
Have you read the transcript?
I have not read it.
Look at the transcript, right?
Yeah, look at the transcript.
Have you read the transcript?
I trust the word of our president, yeah.
Come on, fake news. What you got? Go find yourself a safe space.
Let me get this straight. You're yelling at me to find a safe space, and you have elevated yourself with a megaphone, and you have a shield.
You know, we never kept in touch. But outside of my job interviewing dumb men, I'm also the father of a young son. And as a father, my biggest goal is to not end up interviewing my son as part of my job. To make sure that happens, he's gonna need some help. And that's what I want to talk about in tonight's Long Story Short. America is in the midst of some long overdue changes around gender and power. We're re-examining ideas of masculinity, femininity, the spectrum in between, and how fluid it all is. It's a difficult and necessary conversation. But luckily for us, we get to have these nuanced debates on Twitter. Now, this cultural change is important, and I'm glad it's happening. But when there is a cultural shift, it's easy to get lost within it. And even though it feels strange to say this, a group that is being left out is young boys. And I know. A war on men? I sound like I'm on a network that just got sued out of $780 million. But, I know. Joke's on you, Comedy Central doesn't have that kind of cash. My point is, we've had a great conversation about what men shouldn't be. Men shouldn't be toxic. They shouldn't be overly aggressive. They shouldn't pay a porn star to keep quiet about an affair they had right after their son was born. It's a high bar. But we haven't been showing men what they should be. And that matters to young boys who are looking for an identity, for a narrative about what it means to be a man. And that vacuum is being filled by people with the worst possible idea of manhood.
Former kickboxer and Big Brother contestant Andrew Tate, infamous for being the self-proclaimed king of toxic masculinity. Tate's core message centers around the belief that masculinity is in the crosshairs, and he's defending it. His target audience, young men.
This whole idea of being toxically masculine is complete garbage. I think the most dangerous men on earth are the weak men. Feel. Leave the feelings to the girls, right? That's what they do. We act. We're men of action. Empowering females is the easiest way to weaken the will of men.
Study. Give up your whole life in school. Then you get to be a doctor. You can't even buy a sports car.
The problem with most of you is that I am sitting here with my sunglasses, bald head, millions of dollars, nearly unmatched fighting skills. I am Morpheus. I need action. I need constant chaos in my life to feel content. I need to be driving a supercar and fighting a bunch of champagne and going crazy.
Okay, we get it. You have a small penis. I mean, even through the video, you can tell this guy wears too much cologne. And by the way, not to tarnish his sparkling image, but Andrew Tate is currently under investigation for human trafficking. I know, it's always the first one you suspect. Now, maybe you don't know Andrew Tate. Maybe you're thinking, who is this porn parody Vin Diesel? You may not know him, but trust me, your sons do.
With over 13 billion views on TikTok, Tate's rhetoric is moving from online to the classroom.
So I'm a teacher, and I teach 6th grade. The amount of young 11-year-old boys that have told me that they love Andrew Tate is ridiculous.
One teacher says she hears blatant misogyny from the boys in her class, hearing them say that girls belong in the kitchen and only exist for reproduction. And another claiming they talk about alphas in 6th grade now.
One teacher in South London noticed that his students were parroting Tate's ideology. About a third of the 30 students in the class passionately argued that women were responsible for their own sexual assaults, one of Tate's top lines.
Wow. Times have really changed. When I was in 6th grade, the most toxic role model for boys was Michelangelo. He eats pizza for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That turtle doesn't give a I mean, Seriously, how can you be misogynistic in 6th grade? That's like the 1 year in life where all the girls are bigger than you. I wouldn't be running my mouth about Allison if Allison could hang me by my underwear on the flagpole. The solution to this problem is not to cancel Andrew Tate. Interpol is probably going to do that for us. Because even if he disappeared, someone else would take his place and spew toxic shit at young boys just as well. And social media algorithms would pump it into young boys' eyes and ears just as fast. Because that's really all this is about. Andrew Tate is not interested in being a role model. He wants clicks for money. He doesn't want to raise your son. He's taken dad's seat at the table, but he's really the loudmouth uncle. That uncle who seems cool when you're a kid, but when you grow up, you realize living in a hotel is not a vacation. What we need is an alternative, positive narrative for young men to follow. And it's ironic that these guys are talking about taking the red pill and using these matrix metaphors, because if you're looking for a complex, emotionally available male role model to counter their bullshit idea of manhood, just look at the guy who took the red pill, Keanu Reeves. This is a man who is widely considered to be kind and decent. He donates huge sums of money to cancer research. He gives up his seat to women on the subway. He bought Sandra Bullock champagne and truffles because she had never had them before. He's the perfect man. Maybe his movies glorify gun violence, but nobody's perfect. And that makes him even more perfect because our children shouldn't strive for perfection. That will only make them sad. And those movies sometimes are pretty cool. The point is, young boys need a cultural role model who is kind and comfortable in his skin. Not guys who are so fragile in their masculinity that they can't puff a cigar without putting it on every social media platform like they invented fire. Hell, Keanu Reeves, he isn't even on social media. That's how healthy he is. So as a society, we have two options. We can either follow Keanu Reeves around and put everything he does on TikTok, or, probably better, we make sure that the conversation about modern society includes a role for men that young boys can look up to. Because long story short, if we don't talk to our boys, Andrew Tate is going to talk to them. And that means 10 years from now, I'm going to be talking to him.